Hey everybody, it's your girl Nici. I have a new story for you guys. It's from Wholesome No Sleep, and the author of the story is iifinch. Go over there, read the story for yourself. I'm just reading it for you. It's got a little chilling aspect, so let's get into it. Okay, guys, the story is called Do Not Trust Your Foster Mother. Again, it's by iifinch, and we're gonna just go straight into the story. Hey guys, it's your girl Nici, and I'm sorry to cut in here like real quick. I, as a reader, go through the story and I experience it along with you. And there's some things that you need to know. I practice, my religion has me calling what you would call God. I call him Yahuwah. And I refuse to go outside my comfort zone, outside my beliefs, my spirituality, and call him anything else. So in here, there is a section where I read, and the author titled or wrote God. I will say Yahuwah, and I just want to give you guys that heads up. But out of respect for you guys, out of respect for the story, I just want to come in and quickly, tell you about that before we get right into it. I know I literally just said, let's get into it, but I want to be honest here. I'm not going to disrespect my personal beliefs. The artist has the entirety of the respect. It's a great read. I can't wait for you guys to see it. But my spiritual beliefs, I call him Yahuwah. You can call him whatever you want, and that's up to you. But that's going to be the change in the story that I made. Okay, let's get right into it. Okay, guys, the story is called Do Not Trust Your Foster Mother. Again, it's by iifinch, and we're going to just go straight into the story. That was the subject of the email. The sender of the email was blank. It was a white space where the email address should be. It should be marked as spam, right? Yet it rested both pinned and starred at the top of my email. I need your help, reader. Should I believe them? And if so, what should I do? The first line of the email said, read your attachments in order. I yelled, Ma, to call my foster mother, and then slammed my mouth shut. My foster mother was a good woman, in my opinion, a great woman. And I should know, I've lived in 7 different homes, and I only wanted to be adopted by one person, my current foster mother. I've only called one matriarch mother, my current foster mother. She was the only good person I had in my life. And even she couldn't be trusted according to this email. And that's what scared me. The sheer fear gripped my chest. I gnawed at my fingers, a habit I thought I had abandoned in my new home. My stomach ached. I was 16, a tough 16-year-old, and I felt like a child again in the worst way. Another adult wanted to hurt me. My insides were messed up. I wanted to be left alone and never see anyone again. At the same time, I wanted to be hugged, to have my hair brushed and told everything would be okay. I slammed my laptop shut, ignored the email. I didn't want to know the truth. I didn't delete it. I couldn't delete it. I had to know. However, I did my best to ignore it. I lasted 6 hours. I opened it half an hour ago today, and this is what I saw. The email sender wrote, Hello, I have something big to ask of you. It's going to involve a lot of trust, but I need that from you. And I have proof to present to you at the end. I need you to kill your foster mom. If you need a gun, I'll get you a gun. If you need a poison, I'll get you poison. If you need a grenade launcher, I'll have it to you by Tuesday. Trust me. Your foster mother killed my daughter. My daughter isn't coming back. I don't care about your foster mother going to prison. I don't care about justice. I want revenge. Before you become a coward and self-righteous, I want you to read this. Read this as a mother, and then you can tell me what you do if it were your daughter. Attachment 1. Written in the penmanship of a 13-year-old girl. Hearts all over it. Hearts over the eyes and all of that. Hi, Mom and Dad. It's Ivy. I'm leaving because everyone treats me like crap, and I'm tired of it. I'm not exactly sure why everyone does. I just know they do. Okay, I don't know everyone in our town, but it feels like everyone in our town does. In the last few weeks, I met someone outside of town, and they like me. We've been talking every night while Dad's sleeping, and you're out of town, Mom. Anyways, I'll be with them soon. Don't worry. They're a responsible adult. They're older than both of you. I haven't told anyone about them yet because they asked me to keep them a secret. They said soon they'll either come to my town for me or they'll teach me how to get to them. Anyways, I'm writing this letter to let you know, Mom and Dad, I'm okay. And don't worry, they're a good person. I know it in my heart. Let me tell you how this got started. So remember how I told you guys my favorite book was The Voyage of the Dawn Treader? Yeah. So the edition you gave me was great, but the cover is from the movie, not the original art. I'm grateful for the one you gave me. I'll take it with me when I leave. But it's my favorite book by my favorite author, so I needed to get one with the original cover. So anyways, I stole it. Please don't be mad. The story gets better from here. So I opened the book. It was nice and chilly, and I snuggled under my covers. I didn't lay in the bed, though. I was in my covers under the window, and let the illumination from the moon and the street lamps outside give me enough light to read. I was at the part where Eustace Scrubb enters the dragon's lair. He's a miserable guy at this point. He's zero likable qualities, so the tension is high, and I'm excited to watch him get what he deserves. I'm reading a scene I absolutely know, and boom, I arrive on a nearly blank page. The only words were dead center on the page, blood red, and they said, Hello, Ivy. Smack. I slammed the book shut and threw it across my room. Shut up, Ivy, my dad yelled at me from his room. I'm trying to sleep. Sorry, I whispered back. I was afraid the book could hear me. I buried myself in the covers and watched it. That book was the first and last thing I ever stole. I really wondered if I knew something. If C.S. Lewis put a Christian spell on it to punish kids who stole. I opened my mouth to pray Psalm 23, then shut my mouth because I realized Yahu was probably mad at me for stealing. I did pray, though. I promised I would return the book, and I begged Yahuwah not to let me get in trouble. I wondered if it was a magic book, that I was going to tell the store, tell the police, and worst of all, tell you guys. That last part scared me. I'd never hear the end of it, and honestly, you guys can be pretty mean. You play dirty when you're mad at me. It's like you want to hurt my feelings. And I know you'd be so embarrassed if you heard your kid was a thief. Like, I still remember everything you said to me when I got detention for one fight in school. You knew I was being bullied all that school year, and I finally stood up for myself. And you guys still told me how much of an embarrassment I was, and that I had to bring it on myself sometimes. That's mean. Anyways, I was so scared to hear that again, and it got cold, really cold. And I'm sitting there, afraid to move, and hold myself in the cold. I wasn't going to open it, but as I shivered, I got lonely, scared, and curious. I crawled towards the book, forward towards the book. I pushed it open and flipped to that same page again. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you, Ivy, new words on the page said. Smack. I slammed the book closed, make it sound that you guys make fun of me for. I crawled back to my cupboard in the corner in the moonlight. Dad heard it and yelled at me, Ivy! Sorry, I whispered again. I listened to the sound of my breathing and the crickets outside. Then a third time I opened it. Everything okay, Ivy? Said the words. Oh, yes, I whispered to it. Are you mad at me? No, dear. I could never be mad at you. The words changed again. The initial set disappeared, and new words wandered onto the page as if they were handwritten. Oh, I whispered, relieved. How can you speak? The words vanished, and new words came on the page. That's complicated. Unfortunately, I'm trapped in this book. Oh no, I'm sorry. How can I get you out? You're sweet, dear. There will be time for that. Just wait. You've grown into such a lovely girl. You know me? Yes, the word said, and I paused. Who are you? Take a guess, sweetheart. Those words were written with surprising speed, and she said she saw that I had grown, which means it was someone older, and they were someone who could never be mad at me. Granny, I said to the book. Yes, I'm your granny. You haven't seen me for a long time, have you? No, I said. Honestly, I don't remember us visiting Granny. I remember her coming by once. She told me the truth about you, though. So I see why you don't let me visit her. Are you really my grandma? I asked. Absolutely. Prove it. This time it paused for a while. I almost called it out again, but I didn't want to call it Granny if it wasn't really Granny. Then finally Granny wrote again. Look in your heart, the page said. Look in your heart and you'll know the truth. And I did. I promise you. I looked in my heart and knew she was my grandmother. Like when I asked you about Youa, Mom, how did you know he was real? And you said, you just know what you know, and that you know, deep in your heart somewhere. And like my Muslim friend Abir, I asked why she was so convinced Muhammad was the prophet and Islam was the truth. And she said that she had this deep peace and joy in her heart when she prayed. I had that. I believed in my heart she was my grandma. Where have you been? I asked Granny. I've been trapped. Bad men locked me away. It wasn't Dad, was it? Words didn't come for a minute. My heart pounded. I think you and Mom are mean, but I didn't want to believe you could do this. This is too far. Finally, the red ink appeared. How did you know? Granny said. You're so clever, like your mom used to be. I just did. He can be mean. It felt good for someone to encourage me. Yes, and unfortunately, he's involved with your mother as well. Oh no! How can I help? Your speaking with me has helped a lot. Thanks, Granny. Is there anything else? Well, you can get me out of here. Really? How? Oh, it'll take a few weeks or so. You just have to get me a few things. Attachment 2. Sloppily written, perhaps, by an older person. My parents didn't receive that letter. And excuse my poor spelling and miswritten words. It's painful to write now. My fingers are withered, my back aches, and it hurts to breathe. If anyone was around me, they'd hear it. They heard my big, labored breaths, but I'm alone on the floor. I try to write at my desk, but I stumbled over. Helped, I begged. Helped, I whimpered. Help. I only thought because it was the same as my cries. No one would be around to hear it anyways. I lay on the floor, downtrodden and defeated. Even gravity's lazy pull outmuscled me now. It took a month. I gave her everything she needed. A strange cane that was in some thrift store, a heartfelt letter saying how kind she was to me, a letter that saying she was going to help me with the problem I had, a letter that said she was a reformed citizen. I stuffed those letters inside the book. They disappeared in a melted mess. It was like the paper turned into wax. She crawled out face first. It hurt to watch. I imagine it was painful like a baby's birth, except for no crying, no blood, no stickiness. She came out in silence, smiling, with skin as dry as a rock. Once her face was out, her neck pulsed, and it stretched itself free. Then came her shoulders, draped in an orange sweater, the color of the setting sun, and I thought it was fitting because I knew my life was about to change. Her arms followed, then her chest, and eventually her whole body. My eyes never left what rested on her body, though. That horrible sweater. I screamed. I yelled. I crawled away from the book until I hit my wall and my voice went hurts. Ivy, Dell yelled. His voice broke me. He wasn't mad, but concerned. He banged on the door, demanding to be let in, but it was locked and I was incapable of moving forward. If I moved forward, I might get closer to that thing coming from my book. Dad banged and pushed the door, and it didn't budge. Ivy, he yelled, scared only for his daughter. My eyes could not leave the strange woman's sweater. People were on her sweater. Living people, probably around my age. They were two-dimensional, misshapen, sewn into the fabric, like living South Park characters. They had oversized head, sickly, slender bodies, and eyes that dashed from left to right. Every eye on the sweater looked at me. Robbed of mouths, they had to use a single black line to speak. All made the ominous "oh." Granny? Hello, child, she said. Her back was bent, not like a hunchback, but like a snake before it strikes. You said your own town was bothering you, child. I have a gift for you. She picked up the cane before her. The door clattered open. Dad jumped in, bat in hand. He swung it once. The air was his only victim. He breathed ferocious, chaotic breaths. I wanted to push him out the room in a big hug, and we both pretend the scary woman didn't exist. Ivy, Ivy, he cried. His eyes wouldn't land on me. He was too panicked. I never saw him so scared. The woman's eyes didn't leave him. They went up and down his petrified body. I'm so sorry, she said. Are you from this town? Where's my daughter? He barked at her. So you live here then? This is your house? I don't mean to be rude. I only mean to do my job. Nothing more. I'm reformed after all. Everything she said was so arrogant, so sarcastic, so demeaning. Where's Ivy? Yes, yes, broken door, and to speak with such authority with regard for my questions. You must be the man of the house. She tapped her cane once. Her body left the room. Dad looked for it and found me instead. We locked eyes. I was mute and scared. He tossed his bat away, ran to me. I pushed my covers off and leapt at him, wanting one of his bear hugs more than anyone. The old woman appeared behind him. She floated in air. She smacked his ribs with the cane. Boom. Splat. He went flying into my wall. His body bounced off it and landed on my bed, where it bounced again, unconscious. The woman smiled at me, shrugged once, and then tapped her cane again. She was gone. The screaming started in my brother's room. Then my dog yelped in my garage. Then the neighbor screamed. Then the whole neighborhood screamed. That whole time, Dad was still breathing, his body bent and distorted into a horrible V shape. He shuddered. He sweated. He leaked from all over, from his mouth, from his bowels. I'm a monster, Mom. I'm so sorry. I did not ask for this. I asked her to stop everyone from being so mean. The woman, the liar, the woman who's not my grandmother, did come back for me in the end of the night. She stole my youth. Time shredded and slashed at my body. I shrunk and ached and gasped as my future was stolen. My hair grew and grayed, then fell away. My body ached for intercourse, and then love, and then I only wanted to be held. She said I didn't have much longer. 3 days, and I would end up as another soul on her sweater. I'm so sorry, Mom. Attachment number 3. It was a picture of my foster mom. It was all wrong. I didn't know my heart could beat this fast. I typed on my phone under my covers, my dresser pressed against the door for my safety. Sorry. I don't know why I'm apologizing. You're not here with me. I keep retyping everything because I miss letters, because my hands won't stop shaking. My mouth is dry, and I'm so thirsty. But I won't leave this room. I still say it has to be Photoshop. Some sort of Photoshop that affects everything, because after I saw it, I walked into her room and there was the sweater. The thing is, I think she knows I know. I gasped when I saw her, and she woke from her sleep. She looked at the sweater once, then looked at me, and I ran out of there. Below is a note from the email writer that I'm struggling to click. I can't take it anymore. I really don't want to know what this is, but I don't want it anymore. I want it off. I say all that, but I read the note anyways. You see it now, don't you? Who your foster mother is? Next time you see her, she'll be wearing that sweater. Don't be embarrassed you didn't notice until now. She can disguise herself. She can make you think you've known her forever. But now that you've seen the picture of her, you know what she is. She's the old self. She isn't from this world. She's from a world where many are as cruel and as powerful as her. Don't think I'm getting on my high horse. I know I'm cruel as well. I know I neglected my daughter. I didn't love her as I should, so she fell right into the arms of the first person who was kind to her. I bet you think I'm a terrible parent after that, huh? Well, welcome to the club. It's only me and you in there, and we ain't recruiting new members. Our only goal is to give Hashatan, your mother, back, except screaming, full of holes, and missing a limb or two. Then I'm following her to keep doing the same thing for all eternity. Are you in? I need an answer. Guys, I need your help. Up until now, my foster mother has been perfect. What should I do? Thanks a lot to the advice on the subreddit. I did decide to meet up with the woman who wanted to kill my mom and then kill herself to keep the fight going in. Heck. I know it's different, but as I talked to her online and I said I'd meet her, I didn't feel too different from her daughter in a way. A stranger talks to you out of the blue and tells you have some grand purpose to complete. Ivy ended up with her youth stolen in a death worse than anyone deserves. I didn't want to end up like Ivy. However, the risk is the right one to take, right? Because it's important to do the right thing. Because it makes other people do the right thing. We're all happier for it, right? And please, don't judge me. But when I write, I try to be honest. I'm 16 years old. I've been in 7 different families, and I can never call any of them home. I really hope if I'm good, I can have a home and a family. Ivy thought the same thing, though, huh? That if you listen to the right person, they'll whisk you away to a magical land full of sunshine and promise, art, and people that love you. But Ivy's dead. This revelation shocked me as I got out of my mom's car and walked inside the ice cream shop that we were supposed to meet. I put on a tough face and tried to think tough thoughts. I'm not Orphan Annie. I'm Orphan Bruce Wayne with boobs. Of course I was scared, though. I'm meeting a stranger who could toss me in their van, pull out a gun, and tell me I had to do what they said. I swung my keys in a tight circle as I walked to put all my nervous energy there. I strolled with a purpose. I checked my surroundings. All 10 of my house keys jingled. If I'm given a house key, I never take it off. If keys to the home need to turn into knives that slice heads, I'll be ready. Surroundings checked. It's a summer night, orange skies, ice cream store with only has a few customers, a couple on a date, a family with a kid in high school, a Farron, the woman I'm supposed to meet. We make the awkward eye contact through the glass. That scared me, but I met adults who've hated me. So I'm used to not showing fear. I give a curt nod. She gave a curt nod. I walked in. I ignored her in the booth on the other end of the store and headed straight for the cash register. No games. She won't manipulate me. I've decided I wouldn't let her pay for my ice cream, or even try to withhold it for a second to chat more. I decided I'm going to run this conversation. I even looked at the menu online to know what to order. I knew I planned this to the letter, and I knew it wouldn't end with my loss. Hello, I said to the dark-haired man behind the register. Can I get a chocolate macchiato? I paused for half a second. I was shocked by what I saw behind the counter. Then I continued without missing a beat because I said, I'm Bruce Wayne with boobs. In a small bowl with sprinkles? Sure thing. Anything else? He said back. No, thank you. Any toppings? Just sprinkles. Okay. Punch in the number with a smile, while slow unease with the task. I waited for my order. I held my arms by my side, placed 2 sets of keys on my knuckle. Based on what I saw behind the counter, I knew I'd be turning my keys into knives. My eyes never left the server at his task. He gave 2 scoops of chocolate macchiato, selected a medium bowl, and then put them in the bowl. Have a good night, he said, and handed me my food. You too. I smiled and walked away. The light in the ice cream parlor was too dim. Normally fine, unsettling now. I couldn't get good reads on the expressions of others. I sat across from Farron, the woman I was supposed to meet. I noticed she was in a wheelchair. Was that genuine or part of the act? What's wrong? She asked. Nothing's wrong. No. She was stern, businesslike, like a college professor who didn't care if you passed their class or not. Something's wrong. How can you tell? Your face. That annoyed me. Most adults and people couldn't read my expressions that well. Problem is, I said, that man behind the counter hates me. Like throat crushing in your sleep hate. Do you know him? Nope. And how can you tell he hates you? She asked, undisturbed. Experience. It's a vibe. I said, we might need to leave. What? No way. I can protect you. I promised I could protect you. She reached out for my hand. I swatted it away. I can protect myself. And now that I think about it, I don't like how you're not alarmed. She rolled her eyes. What? She asked. Do you want me to cry and hug you? I'm leaving, I said, pushed off the table. When I whirled around towards the door, the man from the counter stood in my path, shaking and holding a gun. No, you gotta stay here, he demanded. I couldn't tell if he was more angry or more scared. The other patrons were strange. They didn't duck for cover. They didn't gape at us. All of them pretended not to look. Those weren't customers. This was a setup. I leaped behind Farron, dumped her out of her wheelchair, slammed her on the floor. My keys pressed against her neck. I would slice her open if I don't get answers right now, I demanded. No. You give us answers, the man with the gun said. And every fake patron turned toward me, accepting the jig was up. The only answer is, I'm going to slit her throat if someone doesn't explain what's going on. Farron yelled beneath me, your mother is the old so. Yeah, and what exactly is that? She's not from our world. She's from a world of people like her. She's feasting on her. Someone trapped her in that book and took her to our world. Okay, and who are you people? Well, I'm an ex-FBI, and these are volunteers. They lost someone to the old soul and don't like you. You're the only one she spared. So, they don't trust you. They think you're responsible for their lost loved ones. I looked harder at the cast she assembled. They all hated me. Their posture was too stiff, their lips too tight, and a shade of red grew underneath their expressions. If I was burning alive, they'd risk third-degree burns to be the ones to choke the life out of me. But they don't want to hurt you because we need you. So how about we meet somewhere else? Farron said beneath me. Guns, was my only response. Derek, she commanded, slide the gun to her. Derek complied. The gun slid and whisked across against the floor. I said guns, I repeated, and pressed my knee to Farron's back. Excuse me. All right. They're volunteers, not SEALs, Farron said. They wouldn't have shot you. Everyone, slide your guns this way. They did as commanded, and everyone slid their guns across the floor. They slid into a pile, and it looked so extreme, so silly, so mean. 7 guns all for me. I didn't believe her. They really all hated me. Okay, if we meet somewhere else, I cracked. I held my tears back, but it hurt. They hated me, but they didn't know me. I just lost my foster mom, and I was trying to do the right thing by helping these people, and they hated me. Fine. We met at the only place I felt safe, my foster mother's home. She was usually away in the mid-afternoon and encouraged me to invite a friend or even a boy over. She was very open to and trusting, so I felt kind of sick taking advantage of it. What if my foster mom really wasn't evil? Regardless, I did. We went into my room and I had to carry her up the steps and then come back for her wheelchair. It was as awkward as it sounds. I don't think any of us were the type of person to make jokes. Once we got there, Farron judged my room. It's always clean, just a little moody. I've been told it's too dark. My poster is of Billie Eilish. Classic Billie. Note not the new Billie. I'm still not sure how I feel about the song with Charlie. Dream of the Endless, debating on taking it down for obvious reasons, and Batwoman, Cassandra Cain, give the vibe that I'm some goth chick, but I found all of them hopeful in their own way. The black bed sheets and the purple pillows don't really help, though. I know you said she's not coming, Farron said, but could we put the TV on so if she does come, she won't hear us talking? Can you just say I'm your girlfriend or something? I'm not gay, I said. Farron squinted in disbelief but said nothing. I'm not gay, I repeated. Farron shrugged. It's the purple hair. I just like the color, I mumbled, and changed the subject. What should I put on the TV? I grabbed the remote and clicked away. Whatever's natural. What do you normally watch on TV? Oh, like stuff on Disney Plus, Dog with a Blog, and stuff like that. She chuckled, then giggled, and then full on laughed. What's so funny? I asked. It's just my daughter felt that she was too old for it, and here you go watching it. All right, do you have to criticize everything? You see why I'm a terrible mother, huh? I didn't know how to respond, so I didn't. The Dog with a Blog theme played in the back. I thought I was doing the right thing abandoning them. She said, I'm not obviously an FBI field agent. Just some data junkie. So most of my work could have been done from home, she sighed, and rested her hand on her chin. But I could tell everyone was getting fed up with me, so I left. I said duty calls, and no one could argue. I'm sorry. If it helps, they don't seem fed up to me in the letters. Isn't that crazy how love works? How merciful it really is? She shed a tear and wiped it away faster than it came down. Okay, here's the breakdown of our plan. I held myself inside. I wish I could feel that love. She went into logistics. The more she talked, the madder I got. The TV was too loud. She was going into too much detail. And I honestly realized I didn't want to sacrifice everything I had for anybody. I paced through the room pretending to listen. My mind wandered, and I thought about the whole time when I was 13. I made friends with this girl, Vicky. Vanessa. She talked too much and maybe had a slight autism. She was not popular. Anyways, she also liked Disney Channel, which was sweet, made me laugh. She usually sat by herself at lunch, so I thought it was weird and I asked her to sit with my friends. Long story short, they hated her, and they said, don't bring her back. So naturally, because Vicky didn't have friends, I chose her. I knew what it was like to not have friends. I loved her, and she was ecstatic to have a friend. We spent so many days together. She wasn't stupid. She knew hanging out with her was social suicide. She always had a grateful twinkle in her eye. And yet when I moved, she ghosted me. I messaged her on IG, Twitter, I'm not calling it X, TikTok. I even found her on Facebook, and I was still ghosted. So what's the point of all this? When I needed her, when I was tossed around foster homes, she left me. Why should I give up my perfect life for someone who doesn't even care about me? You're not gonna go through with it, are you? Farron said in the midst of my pacing. What? Yes, of course I will. No, you won't. Farron was pissed. She pressed her teeth together and wrinkles formed in her forehead. I see your eyes are glazing over. What's the problem? No problem, I'm just tired. Neither of us talked. The audience laughed, clapped at a pretty bad joke on the TV. I sighed. She called my bluff correctly. I like my life, I admitted. I know it's selfish, but I don't want to give it up. And why should you ruin your life for anybody? Yes. The words poured out, and I realized I'd been holding them in for hours. You should help because evil is an infection and it always spreads. It might take a while, but it'll be your turn soon enough. What if I'm immune? You're not. What if I am? What if I'm the one person the old soul cares about? She's a monster. She's somebody. Oh, and you've never had somebody. No, so why do I have to give it up? I was yelling, furious. I slammed my fist on the bed. I left a big black indentation that did not pop back up immediately. Fran chuckled at me and looked at the TV. Despite loving Dog with a Blog, you've really been through some stuff, haven't you, kid? Yeah, so don't lie to me. Fran chuckled at the dog typing away on the screen. She still didn't look at me. Molly, this doesn't end with you getting some award, divine or otherwise. The FBI says the old soul is too much of a threat to address, so I don't have their funding nor the research sources. I'm so poor from tracking her down, renting an ice cream shop, buying bullets. I can't even buy you a plastic trophy. You'll be an orphan about to age out of the system if you survive. I'm not adopting you or anything dumb like that. Like I said, I'm killing myself when this ends. I don't want to live. The only guarantee you have is that a bunch of strangers you don't know won't die as a bunch of innocents. A little justice. Is that good enough for you? Yes or no? Yes, I said. Unsure if I meant it. The next day, Mom, or shall I call her the old soul, and I walked up to the front of the ice cream store. Said I'd go with the plan. I was nervous ever since. Wait, the old soul said, my voice always cracky and scratched, almost like teenage boys. But I assure you her words were always poised, poignant, and poignant and sharp. Your hair is a mess, she said, and came forward to adjust it. Ever since the email, everything about her disturbed me. The way her eyebrows danced as I lied to her, the way she brought her cane everywhere, but she never let the bottom touch. That's what her victims, their faces, always changed, never smiles. How many had frowns of concern for me? Oh, you're sweating, the old soul said, brushed my cheek. I flinched. I stayed in a home once where I was smacked around a lot. Did she know that? Was she toying with me? Top Mom. Not for a girl from Mississippi, she mocked and raised her eyebrows in that dance I found so silly before. I sweated more. My heart ran rapid, and I wanted to run just as fast. It's like 90, right? That's hot. We're so close to the door. Once inside, I at least had allies, but out here, I was exposed. It's 80, and your face is flushed. Oh, the people on her sweater also made the same shocked expression. Disheveled hair, face still flushed. Molly, did you just see a boy before asking me for ice cream? Oh, I laughed really. No, Mom, you're so gross. Held the door for her and mocked her. Nasty old lady. I don't know why you're ever surprised. You know exactly what I am. She laughed and laughed. Did she know that I knew? The comment unsettled me. I opened the door for us and we walked in. You wanted to take a seat? I'll order ice cream for us. Oh, what manners. We'll have to keep this fella around if he's got you acting like this. The mission was simple. Deliver her person ice cream without dying. Everyone else was here back up. I hoped we didn't. I flicked her off behind my back. It's frightening to betray someone, even someone who deserves it. And to turn your back on them, I imagine her laughing at me. Her smite would be as wicked as a gator, her laugh as quiet as the wind. I wanted to look back. I was briefed multiple times that looking back would be a dead giveaway, though. Suicide. So I walked forward, almost forgetting how. I took a small, self-conscious steps and switched my gait at least 4 times. Again, like yesterday. I spoke to the man at the counter. Hey, I'll take a vanilla and a butter pecan, please. Besides, the single bead of sweat rested on his forehead. 2 medium cups, please? He coughed twice, just to get that sentence out. Under pressure, it appeared he wasn't the best either. Any toppings? Just sprinkles. He gave me the price. I used Apple Pay and tipped $2, and I waited. Nerves took over my body. I couldn't stay still. I tapped my foot. I watched the clock. Tick, tick, tick. I rattled my nails against the counter. I sighed deeply and inhaled the magical aroma of ice cream shop. I probably made eye contact with every person in the ice cream shop. Farron sat 3 rows down directly across from the old soul. Vanilla and butter pecan, the man behind the counter said. I skipped over to get it. I never skip. I know it was suspicious, but my mind was just jumbled, and I thought it was more suspicious to stop, so I skipped to the old soul. It all felt like slow motion, like I was wading in the water on a raft going up and down, and I was wading closer and closer to a shark, and had to pretend like it was normal, despite my shaking stomach, despite the world bouncing. Eventually, the world went still when I sat and I slid the old soul her ice cream. Aren't you in a good mood? She mocked. I'm just happy to have ice cream with my favorite women, I countered. Uh-huh, she said, and then took a big scoop of ice cream. She swallowed. It was over. Done. I did my job. I would miss her. It should only take one bite for the poison to kill her. She took a big break to sigh. What's wrong? I asked. I'm just relieved it's only poison, she said. Do you know what's funny? I knew you knew, so I was going to go back home right after this. She leaped up and slammed her cane on the ground. She disappeared. Weapons out, Farron shouted. The clicks of gun whipped through the near silence of her forehand. She can teleport with her cane, Farron yelled. Keep your heads on a swivel. Sorry, but I'll pass out before I'm able to go into too much detail. So you'll have to say it's like finger painting. Finger painting. Yes, finger painting would be the best analogy for what the old soul did. When a finger paints, they put their hands in and out of whatever color they want as they please. They leave all the project to come back whenever they make quick splashes of color that go everywhere. The old soul left and returned each time to make someone a bloody red or gutsy green that sprayed everywhere using her wicked cane. Like a child, she got a lot done in a little bit of time. Splish, splash, red blood, green gas flowed. Slip. Bodies fell and slid, searching for safety and vengeance. Blood's metallic scent flattened the ice cream's magical smell. A white bone flew past me. I wasn't scared. I was only an observer. Something in me knew she wouldn't hurt me. Bullets beat against everything, windows and chairs, tables, people. But none could beat her. None could touch her. One gun slid toward me and would have gone past if not for the pile of blood at my feet. I raised it and walked toward her. Only myself, the old soul, and Farron lived. Farron survived by playing dead. The old soul tested her by crushing her legs with her cane. They crackled and bent sideways. However, Farron was a paraplegic. She felt no pain in her legs. Her cane was on the other side of the room. Now, sweetheart, what are you going to do with that gun? She asked. As sweet as a marshmallow and covered in every color the human body contained. Sweetheart, she warned, stay where you are. Guns are dangerous. Molly, she eyed me with malice, placed the gun on her forehead. Molly, get that gun out of my face, she spat at me. I had her dead to rights. I couldn't kill her, though. I had one question to ask her first. Why did you let me live? I asked her. Because you're a slut, she said with a smile dripped in arrogance. What? You invited men in here to fix that little hole in your heart that's first Daddy made because he had the Midas touch. Mom, that's not nice, I called her mom, but I was so crushed. I was reverting to a child before her eyes. You're right. It's not nice. It's funny. Everyone uses you for your body. I know about the orphanages. I know about foster care. How many dads and brothers did you tempt? I didn't tempt anyone. I swear to you, reader, I really didn't. I was assaulted by one of my foster mom's husband, and she didn't believe me. I swear to you. The mothers think you're a liar, and I think you're a liar. I know you have nightmares of them. Your yellow stained sheets didn't reek of lemonade. At your age too? What trauma? That's why you can't stop bringing men over. You need someone to hold you and tell you it's okay. You wanted to reclaim your body. And I wanted access to men and boys who snuck out and cover their tracks so they couldn't be found. No way. They're all dead. Sweetheart, you think those men in your DMs found you by accident? Oh, baby. Your mother was pimping you out. She intimidated me. It was my voice, close to perfection. Why didn't he text me back? Why was he so nice to me? We had a great time. She broke her mocking tone and screeched out a laugh. Because I killed all of them, stupid. I killed them and put them on my sweater, she cackled. And now, because some woman told you, you're going to be a killer. Does your body feel reclaimed yet? Good luck with that whole new batch of nightmares, starring the ugly face of yours truly. Molly, I want you to put that gun down and walk away, Farron said, breaking her attempt to play dead. No, I can't. Yep, you can, Farron said. But I've killed a man, and she's right. You're bound forever by the first person you kill. If you kill her right here, she'll never die in your head. I can do that. This is what she wants. She wants us to let her go. Guilty, said the old soul. Yeah, but it's about what you want. You don't want to see her face in your nightmares. You want to watch Disney Channel. You want to sit down for family dinners. Yeah, but it's about what you want. You don't want to see her face in your nightmares. You want to watch Disney Channel. You want to sit down for family dinners. You want a mother. I saw that and try to take advantage of that. And I'm sorry. Let her live. Let her own universe take care of her. I can do it. But you don't want to. Drop the gun and walk away. She'll find her cane eventually and then she'll leave. That'll be the end. And that's what happened. I let her go and the old soul did leave our world. In my world, things got much better. I'm adopted now. Turns out Farron felt it would be better use of her life to be a better mom again than just to end it. Even though the old soul's gone, Farron and I aren't done. There are plenty of people out there taken advantage of by evil adults, natural and supernatural, and we're stopping them both. As for the old soul, I let those of her world stop her. Oh, and as for my friend Vicky, whom I mentioned earlier, the one that ditched me once I moved, turns out she actually passed away, which was heartbreaking. I was mad at a ghost. But you know what? I was grateful I chose to be her friend. I was so grateful that we get to spend time together. I think that's an underrated reward of goodness, or whatever. I get to look back at my time with Vicky, and I can smile. If this reaches heaven, Vicky, just know I loved you, and I'd choose you all over again. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed that story. I really did. It gave me chills. It's so it was so touching, and the aspects that the author wrote, that iifinch wrote about, the relationships, everybody having their little niches and little parts of the story. I loved it. I can't wait to read more of their stuff. I might, if y'all like it, I will read more of their stuff. They have plenty, plenty, plenty. I really want y'all to go check it out. I really do appreciate you guys. Um, I can't wait to see you in the next one. And this is your girl Nici. Enjoy. Peace out.